the reinstitution of a sacrificial service will have the benefit, I believe, right away. People realize how terrible kaparos are. The people still do kaparos every year, and remind people of this. The people who understand what korbanos are about and try to live it understand the gravity of why kaparos are so wrong. But the people most disconnected from Inyanei HaMikdash and korbanos and things like that don't study these things. They're like, yeah, a kapara. They understand that what they're doing is a sacrificial act, except they're changing around one word. And they're even taking the Ramban's description of what a korban is supposed to be, and they're transposing it onto this chicken that they're slaughtering in the courtyard. So it's terrible. And when the sacrificial service will be returned, restored, God willing, people suddenly realize, oh, that's what it meant. Okay, I think that there are some more basic things. People don't understand what a proper intimate relationship is supposed to be like. And then they're married properly, and then they had children. They realize, oh, now I understand what God intended. But before that, they had no clue. So too, when the service comes back in this case, once we're doing korbanos, and there people understand the gravity of owning chametz, they'll realize that whole chametz sale thing with the fake sale, that ain't gonna fly. It was like also selling the land of Israel. There's some people they have a romantic idea of coming to the land of Israel and farming. How many people actually buy land here and actually work the land? Know what it's like? The minority. But you understand it. Once you invest in the land of Israel, some people buy apartments. Buying an apartment in Jerusalem, on a 10-story apartment building, is not the same as actually keeping mitzvos atulios ba'aretz. Because for many people, those who are most into keeping mitzvos atulios ba'aretz, they're the ones who were strongest about holding on to the territory of Eretz Yisrael. Most people don't understand how important it is to hold on to the land, because they live urban lives, or they're totally detached from Eretz Yisrael. Yeah. So I encourage people do work the land. Keep the mitzvahs of leket shikha per, the equivalent with fruit trees. Mm-hmm. Keep the commandments. Keep Shmittah. You'll understand what it's about. Yeah, it's a lot easier to keep Shmittah in the olden days.
20 years ago.
Remember, they came up with Heter Mechira, right? Because they were going to starve if they had kept Shmittah. That was a real problem because it was like, you have to keep Shmittah. Yeah, but we're going to die. It's like the Torah says that if we keep Shmittah properly, we'll have so much in the 6th year that we'll survive to the 8th. But we haven't had a 6th year yet. We don't have no crop. It doesn't work that way until we do this a few times. We have a whole tzibur supporting us to tell one moshav in the middle of nowhere with 10 farmers who are penniless and don't even have their families because they haven't really made it yet. They can't send to bring back their families from Vilna. So it's not gonna. It doesn't work that way. It wasn't meant to work that way, by the way. They were right. They shouldn't have been keeping Shmittah. Shmittah shouldn't have applied in that case, because Shmittah only applies once you have Am Yisrael on their land. And the basically says, now everybody's settled. Now we start the count. Oh, they forgot that. No, I'm saying that when we talked about this before, when the controversy first came in Maskeret Batya, when they started the first Moshavot, agricultural ones that tried to keep halacha in the late 1800s. And then suddenly, the Rabban of Jerusalem said, "Oh, you're doing agriculture? Don't forget Shemitah." And they're told that there hasn't been a Shemitah. Shemitah is just a thing in the calendar, but it's not something that people have actually done. No one's farmed here before. Now you're telling us 3 years from now we'll have to keep Shemitah. We just started. How it would destroy everything. So the halacha really was like the Rambam says. The Shemitah only kicked in both times around in the first Commonwealth, the second Commonwealth, once everybody was already settled and there was stability. And then Beis Din said, now begin the count. So Yeshua and his Beis Din only started the first count towards Shemitah 14 years after they came to Eretz Yisrael, once they'd done conquering and dividing and establishing who owns what. So I'm saying, so it can't be that the Rabban of Jerusalem say, we are now telling you, by the way, Shemitah count has just been continuing. That what they're supposed to do is, once the Commonwealth restarts, that's when the Shemitah starts. I would have said they would have had a patur from Shemitah. My hypothesis was until the Balfour Declaration, until they established mandatory Palestine, which did have a sort of Jewish sort of autonomy, sort of Jewish governance or Rabbanut, or maybe until 48. And once the war was over and things were properly settled, then they say, now we're going to start the count anew, like the Rambam says they should have done.